Welcome to the Cherry Picker, the horror movie podcast where we like to kill people, but not really. I'm your host, Zach Cherry, and with me as always.
I'm Tim from Tim McKay Beauty.
And today we are talking about It, or It Chapter 1, released September 8th, 2017. This was the Patreon's choice episode for this month, and it was nominated by one Tyler Hurley.
Woo.
And I don't have the data in front of me. What was the percentage of the poll? It's always fun to know like how many people voted for this movie. But this was an interesting one to kind of revisit because I've only seen it once. I saw it in the theater when it first came out and never again.
Really?
Yeah,
So I guess you loved it then.
absolutely loved it so much. Yeah.
I know when you love something, you like to leave it alone and not go back to it for a long time. No.
hmm
So do you know exactly what it was that made you kind of feel that way, or
Feel what way? But I
feel the
didn't.
way like you just like didn't, I don't know. Because I mean,
The,
I've seen it a couple times. I have the rare opinion that I actually prefer the sequel over this one, which I
oh,
know a lot of people
interesting.
don't, a lot of people hate the second one. But we can get into that after. But
I mean, that's
yeah.
another one that I've only seen once. By the way, 20% of the poll. So just to
Hmm.
let you know, there was a Send Help was another nomination, like the new Sam Raimi film. Cube, that's a Canadian
Hmm.
horror film, got 14%. So just so you're aware of some of the competition here. But uh but yeah, It Chapter 1. The second one, I mean, I honestly don't remember that one either because I've only seen it the one time and I actually like I missed it in the theater, so I purchased it on Blu-ray as a blind buy and watched it and I don't think that I mean, clearly the It movies are not in my wheelhouse. I do own
Hmm.
the on DVD. I'm one of like the old snap cases,
Oh, I
the
remember
original,
those.
yeah, the miniseries here.
Hmm.
It's got like and back in the day when like the DVD discs were double-sided for like widescreen
Hmm.
and full screen. Terrible. But I don't think I've maybe watched this twice in my life. So I don't like it is not really one of my treasured favorites.
Hmm. Well, I think I mentioned early on when I joined the pod that the first horror movie I ever saw was Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and it
Mm,
really like traumatized me. Like just seeing the girl in the classroom get the asthma attack death,
right.
that whole part. So in that like that era, like once I was traumatized by that, I kept going back to the friend's house, obviously, and like kept watching scary movies like with his mom. And so I watched like Leprechaun, and then one of the movies she put on was It with Tim Curry. And I
Yeah.
remember it was like I think when he's just like a Billy boy, and I just remember that scared the crap out of me. My cat just jumped on my lap.
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me as a kid. So I loved that one. But yeah, so that one has like a nostalgia space in my heart.
hmm I mean, I just love the movies that even it's like a mini series, but just like movies that came out around that time, like the transition between the 80s and the 90s. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like, do you find clowns to be scary?
I don't, and I actually never really have. Because I ultimately just see them as like guys with makeup on.
Yeah.
Because like I guess yeah, I don't know. I never really found them scary. I just found Tim Curry creepy when I was
Yeah.
younger, and his like awkward portrayal because it was awkward. Like there was a lot of quiet. Like I think it was more of the mood and the atmosphere that the original provided, more so than being afraid of an actual clown.
Yeah. Do you have a preference for like so you prefer Tim Curry or the Bill Skarsgård?
I think I do, and it might just be nostalgia's sake, because I'm so much more used to the Tim Curry one. I love Tim Curry. If I was to watch that now, would I be scared of it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But just something about that haunting feeling that that movie gave me from such a young age. I'll have to always
hmm
go with the Tim Curry one. Yeah, but I think Bill is really good. I'm just not scared of but it's also because I don't know. I just don't know if I'm just not afraid of it.
I mean, it's two very different renditions of it, and I think that, the classic one is like, you know, I don't want to say basic, it's more traditional in a sense, whereas I feel like the new one leans more into kind of like where the horror genre is now. And like the thing is, like the Tim Curry one looks very unassuming, like he looks very innocent and not like it would be something to like cause you any sort of bodily harm. Whereas the Bill Skarsgård one in this, like just like the eyes alone and stuff like that,
Hmm.
like everything that he's doing, like with his face, like contorting it, is just creepy as fuck. So this kid at the beginning, I don't know, like I was watching it again and like with Georgie, it's just like, are you stupid? Like I know that like as a child, if I saw that in like the sewer drain, and just like speaking to me in that way, but like just even like everything but the glowing eyes and all that, I just get the fuck out of there.
So you found it scary then, watching it?
No, I didn't. I just know that like for a child, I didn't find it realistic that that he wouldn't get out of there. But look, obviously
Yeah.
this is an IP. It's based on a novel. It's, the characters are gonna act the way that they act. Um, but I don't know. I think I'm trying to wonder like what sort of innate childhood fears I had that could
Well,
like if I was in Derry and just like a child in Derry, what it would be that would, I guess, be my undoing.
well, that show, Are You Afraid of the Dark, really, I think Amethyst just mentioned it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amethyst. That show used to scare the crap out of me. I remember it was rated Y7 in America, which I think
Mm,
means like you have to be at least 7 years old to watch it, and I
I
was
would think so. Yeah.
6.
Youth
Yeah,
7. Yeah.
yeah, youth 7. There you go. Actually, never thought of the word youth. Um, never thought of that. But anyway, so
Mm,
I was 6, and I remember thinking I was so bad because I was like, "Ooh, I'm only 6. I'm not supposed to watch this," and being
yeah.
horrified. And so the episode that traumatized me, probably still to this day, is the demon in the pool. Um, that like you can't go in the deep end. The pool is haunted, and they smell rotten eggs or something, and then like or sewage, and then they get pulled in. There's this demon that like lives in the deep end of the pool, and like you can't see it, and it just pulls you under. And so that's lived with me ever since I was a little kid. And I feel like
Mm,
that would be my demon if I was in school, I would get attacked in the pool or something. 'Cause that'd be my nightmare for sure.
yeah. I mean, I agree because I always watched Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps? And I think I
Mm,
love like Goosebumps for more of like the kind of like bubblegum pop of it all. Like it's very much like I guess I'll use the Joel Schumacher Batman and Robin term of like toyetic. And I just like I would collect all the books, but I always found Are You Afraid of the Dark to be the scary one out of the two.
yes.
And the one I think I mentioned this on the podcast before, the one episode that always frightened me the most was the one with the little girl who lived in the mirror and she would write help me, but it would all like show up on the wall backwards because it was all like through
Oh my
this
God.
mirror world. But it always freaked me out. And I feel that if I watched it again now, it probably would have no effect on me.
Of
So,
course. Yeah, they're kind of
um,
silly when you watch them now. You're like, oh, this is like really low budget. But
yeah. Well, there was one with Nev Campbell where she was, I think, claustrophobic or something, and like the walls were closing in on her.
Oh,
So,
and
yeah.
that was Goosebumps, or Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? Yeah.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
realized my microphone was like way on the other side of the room. Could you hear me?
I could, yeah, but I can hear you more
Okay.
clearly now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my microphone was like way over there.
Yeah.
Um, okay, perfect. Should we
But
do our housekeeping and premise?
don't rush me.
Oh,
No, that's okay.
Shant.
Yeah, we shall do the housekeeping. So anyway, if you are brand new to the Cherry Picker, or if you have been watching slash listening to us for a time now, then what you can do, if you so choose to, is you can head over to my Patreon account at patreon.com slash Zach Cherry, and with your support. Specifically, if you're supporting us at the Freddy Krueger tier, which is $5 a month, you get to join us for these live stream chats as we record our episodes every Monday night. You also get the benefit of nominating and voting upon the last episode of the month that you so wish to have us cover. So obviously that was it for this month. And lots of other benefits there. There are, video chats with me once a month. There are monthly Patreon reviews of horror movies. I'm trying to think of everything. Well, there's shoutouts. There's the shoutouts. And I am
Hmm.
going to do that now. So thank you very much to our top tier supporters here. So to the Michael Myers here, Kyle Beard, Sam Levy, Ellie Hamouche, Shane Ellingham, Tim McKay,
Hey.
Horselet 95, Austin Hall, Final Girl Gemma, welcome, welcome. Billy's mother, Cara Day, Michael Boswell, DEF CON, Michelle Hughes, and then the Ghostface supporters. Thank you to Eric Champney, Danielle Saturn, Stephanie Starbright, Baby Ghoul, Garrison Nichols, Craig Lynn, and Josh Burrow. So if you would like to help keep this engine running, that is the Cherry Picker podcast, please feel free to hop on over there and show us any little bit of support you can. And even if you just want to go and just support as a free member, you can do that as well. It's just happy to have you there. And that's an extra vote in the Cherry Picker poll every week. But having said that, Timothy, do you have a premise for it?
I
Chapter
do.
one.
So It Chapter 1, which was released in 2017. In the seemingly quiet town of Derry, Maine, something evil lurks beneath the surface. Set in the late 1980s, a group of misfit friends, soon to be known as the Losers Club, begin experiencing terrifying encounters with a shape-shifting entity that feeds on children's fears. As more children vanish, the losers must band together to confront their worst nightmares and face Pennywise in the dark sewers beneath their town. With friendship and courage as their only weapons, will they struggle to defeat the evil before it destroys them all? In It Chapter 1.
I could hear the Moira Rose coming out there
A
again.
little bit. She always
Yeah.
comes out a little bit.
Yeah. Or not even
Just a
Moira, but just one
little.
of one of her girls, whatever
Yeah.
wig she's wearing today. I the comment was, I think it came in when we started, but Amethyst had said something about the film being set in 1989. Because
Hmm.
I mean, like the original one, like I don't know when the book is set, as it takes place in, but the miniseries was 1990. So, oh, very good, thank you.
I actually have the book.
Yeah.
I made it like 79 pages, like I don't know, out of 1,000 and something, and it was
Hmm.
just too much. It's a lot in here.
Yeah. Did you use your highlighter marker
I didn't know
as you
these are
went through?
brand new. These highlighters are brand new, baby.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've barely christened them yet, but no,
Hmm.
with this, I'm like I think it was set. Well, if the I'm guessing it must have been set in the 50s, 50s or the
Yeah.
60s, right?
I don't
Yeah.
know. My knowledge of the It story is not that great, but the
Hmm.
this movie, I mean, being more modern, like how do you feel about it being a period piece and like set in 1989 rather than just sort of like having it be present day?
Um, well, I think it's good because I feel like they did that on purpose so that the sequel could be present day. I feel like they made instead of the sequel being in the future.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like they definitely did probably want to like take some of the nostalgia vibes that were coming off of Stranger Things. Like they even cast Wolf, uh, what's his
Finn
name?
Wolfhard.
Film Wolfhard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like Wolf Lockhart. I don't know.
Lockhart. Yeah.
Wolf Lockhart. No, Finn, whatever Wolfhart.
Yeah. FYA.
And yes,
Hmm.
I think because to get part of that whole vibe, that nostalgia vibe that we were really going through for a while.
So Amethyst is saying that the book took place from 57 to 58 and 84 to
Yeah.
85. So I guess
Okay.
so like the miniseries, the present day stuff, like the adult stuff was all like taking place around the time that it came out. So yes, you're right. It did take place in the 50s.
Yes.
I'm really
So
showing my hand of like my lack of like
that's
knowledge or
of
enthusiasm.
Derry knowledge. Well, that
Yeah.
is one thing I will say. I love the town of Derry. I love as you know, I love like a universe, a world building. I love period piece town. So like, when I see a town, like I love like an old looking town. Granted, it's only the 80s, but still, like I loved like the big brick wall that said Derry. I love the attention to detail in a cute little court town.
Hmm.
Like, it was almost the size of House of Wax. Remember the town in House of Wax? How it was that one big street that had everything on it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this town felt like in Derry. Um, yeah, so I really love that.
Well, one thing I've noticed with like all of the Stephen King uh movie adaptations is there's almost a uniformity like even like across like so many different directors, and I think that's just because of like the settings, like whether it be in Maine or Colorado or wherever, but there's just sort of this, almost like the way that like Haddonfield in the original Halloween is Haddonfield, and it's just like this place that doesn't exist anywhere because it doesn't feel like Illinois, and it's all shot in Pasadena, but it doesn't feel like Pasadena. It's just sort of this
Hmm.
very like world specific setting. And that's how I feel about like most of the Stephen King things. So like even like the non-horror entities like the Green Mile or things like that.
Mm.
Um, so, that's one thing that I do appreciate with, his stories and just like the adaptations when they can kind of capture the essence of that universe. So that's something that I do really like about it.
Yeah, I definitely do. I think I might have liked the storytelling better in the original story, and in the
Mhm.
book. Like I know the TV series and the book, they kind of do back and forth between modern day and the past. Whereas this
Yeah.
movie chose to just do the whole movie with the kids, and then the next movie, the sequel, has all the adults. So I feel like that might have hindered it for me a little bit. I think that's why I couldn't relate to this movie as much because I'm not a big kids movie fan, and this isn't a kids movie, but like we're
Yeah.
following kids the whole time. So I think breaking that up with adults a little bit is a little bit easier for some people like
Yeah.
myself.
Were you always like that, or did you find that maybe if you had watched this at first when you were a child, that you might have related to it more?
Good question, because I'm like then it would have felt like the Goonies, but like a scary version of the Goonies. So like maybe.
Yeah. Well, because I
Yeah.
think, like, I feel that there are things that that's not like specific to movies about kids and stuff, but like, here's an example. Like, I used to love like those CW teen dramas and stuff. So like
Mm-hmm.
the OC, I think that was Fox. That was like one of the last ones that I ever watched, and that came out like around the time that I was graduating high school.
Mm-hmm.
So then like whenever like a new thing came on after that, it was harder and harder to like kind of get
Yeah.
engrossed in it. Like, and it wasn't even like a generational thing. It was just sort of like, here are stories about like kids or teenagers, and I'm already so far removed from that age bracket.
Yeah.
And that, maybe that's the reason why, just to like bring up Scream for a second here, like the newer sequels don't interest me as much because it's just like, I don't want to like watch stories about these like teenagers now. Like
Yeah.
give me the grown-ups. The grown-ups are more interesting. They've had the life experience. Even like the creators of South Park, they when they initially started to make that show, all of the earlier episodes were about the kids. And then as they matured, they realized that they had more ideas when they could tell stories about the adult characters.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely more drawn to that. And I think it's also because of like Stephen King has a very specific way that he likes to write kids in
Mhm.
stories, and not just like the weird sex stuff. But like he loves a camaraderie, right? He loves like Stephen King loves like a band together and like let's be a
Yeah.
gang of friends. Like, come on, buddies, like let's all get together.
A
Very
band of
cute.
buggers, yeah.
Yeah, a band of bandits. No, it's it's very cute, but it's a little too like coming of age like for me. I don't know. It's a
Yeah.
little so like that's and like they all have their jokes with each other and it's cute and all, but again, I would have liked it. I prefer the adult humor in the next movie.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, would it have maybe benefited if they did a thing where, let's just say it was one movie and they did, or I mean, it could be two, but just like the flashbacks and then like flash forwards or
Yeah,
whatever, just
I
like
like
jump
that.
back.
I would have liked
Right.
that, I think better. I think it would have helped with the pacing for me. Because this movie for me felt like, excuse me. it's like they're each getting a session with Pennywise, and then like they have a few little things with each other in between, and then they have the big finale at the end.
It
Whereas
does feel very episodic.
yeah, like
Yeah.
each character has an episode with Pennywise, so it's just kind of like on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah.
Like I
But even
yeah.
even beyond that, like after they sort of like band together and go on their mission, it does feel like, okay, it's another episode of television, which is maybe why they made the show. Like I haven't watched Welcome to Derry,
Hmm.
but maybe because it is something that is better suited to television. Now you said that you saw the first
Yeah,
episode.
yes, and I think that this would actually be a really great show, because I mean, there's so much in the book that like they obviously couldn't include everything from the book in here. Not that I'm gonna ever read this book, but there's so much that they couldn't, and probably a lot that they wouldn't want to. But I think a
Yeah.
show would be really helpful, if they really wanted to include everything as much as they
Yeah.
possibly could. But the show, it suffered from the same thing that the movies did, and that's Andy Muschietti, the director. He
Mhm.
loves CGI, and I just
Oh my God.
this movie has so much CGI, and for example, the opening scene with Georgie, I actually think it's a pretty good scene, but like I don't mind his mouth opening up and you see all the teeth. I'm like, okay, that looks pretty good. But then the chomp, when he chomps down on Georgie's arm, that chomp looks like a fake CGI little like
Yeah.
shot, and so that took me out of it right away. I was like, oh,
Yeah. You know what I noticed? Like the first thing of CGI was the boat. Because it was at one point
oh
like just
yeah,
like flowing down. I'm like, why did they have to make that CGI? Could they not have just used the prop? And then of course, like every time the balloon was there, that I think
hmm
that was the biggest offender because
yeah,
obviously, okay, you need the balloon to look a certain way and it's got to like do all this crazy stuff.
have a
But then there
reflection
were
in it.
yeah, but then there were moments where it was like the balloon is just tied to a mailbox. Why does this have to be CGI right now? Why couldn't this just be like simply be a balloon tied to a
Well, have you ever seen a
mailbox?
balloon? Like, have you ever seen a balloon outside? It kind of like does these like embarrassing like whipping motions. Like maybe it just maybe they're like this looks ridiculous. Like we can't get this scary.
Maybe I mean they could have just like blocked the wind off, off screen.
Yeah,
There's
they
there's
could have
there's
totally
things that they could have done. Yeah.
blocked all that wind. Yes.
Like
Um,
because CGI, I mean it's always going to age poorly. It might
it
look good
will.
at the time. And I
It
don't,
will.
and seeing it in the theater in 2017, I don't really I mean, the movie was mostly like unmemorable for me, so I didn't take anything away from it. So I don't know if the effects worked at this point, like 9 years ago.
Hmm.
But
No,
like
I noticed it then in the
now,
theater. I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's a lot.
But even like now, just like looking at them, and when you see things like that just don't need to be CGI'd, it feels a bit gratuitous. So I think that, that's if I had to choose a version, like just like for the nostalgia of it all, of the original miniseries, absolutely, but also the fact that
Yeah.
it's done practically and not with all the
Yes.
CGI, because it does really, I feel, take away from a lot of the cinematic experience of it all.
That's why I'll always find like you remember The Grudge from
Oh, absolutely,
2002.
yeah.
So there's something about The Grudge. I rewatched that recently, and of course it's not scary, but like there's something about it because it was mostly practical, I believe. Like all
Hmm.
the like just like even when Sarah Michelle at the end opens the closet door and like you just see the head of the ghost woman like come down, like that was all practical. Like there's something just so tangible and scary about that. That I feel
Yeah.
the original It movie kind of had.
There was a scene in the with Beverly in the bathroom that was like
Mm,
evoking The Grudge for like it felt like part Evil Dead, part The Grudge because it was like all this blood, but then like the
yes.
hair that came out of the drain and it was just gross.
Yeah, but that blood never really scares me in movies. Like that's one thing I've realized.
Hmm.
Like I think it was in Evil Dead Rise. There was like a lot of blood, and like just
Hmm.
like, and I'm like, I don't know if that's like scary to some people, but like just seeing blood fill up a room like doesn't scare me. But
No, no, but it's I mean it's just such a Stephen King staple. Like obviously the
oh, true. I
Overlook
guess it was
Hotel.
also in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was also in The Shining. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm. I was just trying to
Um.
where was it in Misery?
Oh yeah, exactly. Where was the
Yeah,
blood
he
in
could have just
Misery?
like
Come on.
opened the pantry door and blood just like came
Just
out,
in
and then
slow motion,
he had to like
slow motion
spend like the
splash.
next hour cleaning up all the blood before she came back.
Well, that's what I'm wondering too, is like there is a whole scene in this movie where like, the kids come over and they have like a cute little montage of them helping her clean up the
Mhm.
blood. So like, is that blood really there? Or like, are they just
I
cleaning a clean bathroom? Like, if the dad was to walk in, would he be like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Like,
I am so
we're
confused
rubbing.
about so many things in this movie because that is one thing. Like what I could have at least used was like maybe just to show the father's perspective for a second just to see that there is no blood there. I guess
Yeah.
like the movie, like really intentionally didn't want to show anything from any adult's perspective. So like understandable, but it made it confusing because then they're like we have to clean this up, and all I'm thinking is, well, why? Because
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
the dad's not gonna see it and think anything weird of it.
And like he
So
won't slip in it. He's not gonna slip and fall.
did
And
she did she kill her father? Like or was that just like a
I don't think so, because then
yeah,
I feel like she would have to go to jail for murder. Like I feel like I don't think she'd be that clever to hide it, like cover it up.
yeah.
Um,
So it
and
was
she hit
like
him over the head, I think, right? Didn't she hit him over the head with something to knock him out?
well, she used like the top of the toilet tank, but then
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if there
right.
was
And
like
that's right.
anything else happened, but I mean it seemed like it was like a moment just like, well, you're not gonna continue living with him after this.
True.
Um
Imagine going home that night. She's like, "Hey, Dad."
yeah.
Um,
I feel like that something that this movie does that like does annoy me is like every adult, every parent is just awful. And
yes,
I
every single one.
I think that I might have liked it better. I mean, obviously it's been adapted from the books, but I think of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where like everybody's parents were just like non-entities. Like there was Joyce, and she was there sometimes, and like earlier on, she didn't know about what was going on. But it's just sort of like you don't need to check in with the parents. We don't need to have everything. But like the fact that like every single one of them just has like a horrible parent, or like to varying degrees of just
It's
sort
like
of like
it's
abuse.
out of their way, like
Yeah.
horrible parent. Like it's just like he's dead, Bill. He's dead and he's
Mhm.
never coming back. It's like what kind of parent would ever
Yeah.
scream that about their child, especially when the
Yeah.
child was never found? Like why would you scream that? Like
Yeah.
that's wild.
It's giving Laurie Strode's mother from Halloween 2 a run for her money.
But I will say, I actually rewatching this, maybe it was just like because we're getting older and stuff, but like
Mhm.
Eddie's mom, I was like, I don't mind her that much. I mean, like she was like kind of crazy and like of course they made her look disgusting, but she's just a paranoid mom worried about her
Mhm.
son.
Well, it's
Like
just
she's
yeah,
not
it's
that
just
crazy.
and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree because like she's got him all paranoid. But I think like in that's what I'm saying. Like the parents are awful to like varying degrees. Like it's like everything is a form of child abuse, but like
Hmm.
not every kind of form of child abuse is just like physical. It's also sort of like psychological violence against them. So. I don't think that she's doing him any favors for his adult life. I mean, like, I guess spoilers
Yeah.
for chapter 2, but he doesn't turn out to be the most well-adjusted adult out of the group.
Oh, yeah. It makes me sad thinking about that actor. But
Yeah, no, that is unfortunate. But is there a character of like the group that you relate to the most, or like, even as a child?
that I relate to.
Yeah.
Good question. Probably I guess I was like kind of like Stan, like Stanley. Like I think I was
Yeah.
kind of like Stan, where I was like kind of quiet. I was kind of stoic, but like I think I was definitely funnier than Stan.
Hmm.
But I wasn't like a Richie though. I wasn't like this like loud, kind of like funny, goofy, like constantly joking kid. I was definitely more like Stan, where I was just kind of reserved and quiet. And yeah, so probably Stan.
Yeah. Were you just
What
studying for
about?
your bar mitzvah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, what about you?
Um, hmm. Probably like I can't just be one, so it's like got to be a combo. So
Of
it would
course, yeah.
be Ben
Ben.
and Richie
Oh,
and
cute
maybe a
Ben.
little bit of Stanley because I studied for my bar mitzvah at a time, but I don't think that I was as like quiet or timid as he was.
Mm.
But definitely not Eddie. Definitely not Beverly and Mike, or who am I forgetting? Who's the other one?
Yeah, Mike was the other one.
Bill. Yeah,
I think my favorite was Eddie though. Eddie as a kid is my favorite kid. I think he's so
absolutely.
adorable and so
Yeah.
funny, and he's like because Richie's just kind of like he's a little too much. Even though I think the actor
Mhm.
is great, but I think that the kid who plays, I think Eddie is so cute and so funny.
Yeah. That actor, I watched something that he was in recently called Friendship, that one with Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he was like the dude's son. Um, because I was just looking him up while I was watching it. I'm just like, what else has he done? Because it's just like this is I wonder like I don't what are they like 10 years old in this or probably older than that. They're like 12 or 13, right? They would
Yeah,
be
they must
13. He
be.
was he was he was studying for his bar mitzvah. So just
Uh,
like I wonder what he's like doing now. Like where is he as like a grown up like 20-year-old? So yeah, he was in that. The rest of the cast, like the Bill, what is it, like Jaden Martell, I think his name is.
yeah,
He's been in a lot. He's kind of like probably had the biggest career other than like, probably like on par with Finn
Finn.
Wolfhard.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say probably. I think Finn is the most recognizable one, but then
Yeah.
probably him. You're right. Or
Yeah.
the actually, what about the girl? I've seen the girl. I'm sorry, I can't think of her name right now. The Beverly,
I
but I've seen
yeah.
her in a good amount of stuff too.
I don't know. I don't think I've seen her in much. Maybe like at the time, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
can't
feel
think of what
like
I saw her in, but I know I saw her in something.
yeah. I wonder what the statistic is for like child actors to go on and like continue having a career after that.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, going through your development years must be so hard on camera. I feel like you're either
Hmm.
going to develop into a popular kid or like develop into just like blah, and sometimes
Yeah.
not get cast in anything.
Fun little trivia in the comments here. A few people
Hmm.
said it. I think it was like Craig and Capricorn Skellington, or no, Davy B. Jones. Sorry, that the actress who plays Eddie's mom is the
Hmm.
same actress who plays his wife in Chapter 2. Make
Oh,
of that what
I
you
love that
will.
stuff. I love that
Yeah,
fun. That's great casting. That is so he ended up
just
marrying his mom.
oh yeah, interesting. Sophia Lillis is the actress. Thank
Do
you,
we ever
Davy B.
see her in the
Jones.
sequel? Like, do we ever see? Well, I know we see her as the mom in the sequel for that one scary little scene, but do we ever see her as his girlfriend, as his wife or his girlfriend, or we just hear her on the
What are we
phone?
talking about now?
His girlfriend, Eddie's girlfriend in the sequel.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think we just hear her on the
Yeah.
phone, like on the car phone. I I don't know why people hate the sequel so much. Maybe the chat can tell us, but like I don't know. I actually really like the sequel. I didn't, well, not liked it, but
Mm.
I mean, I did not mind it. I think because
I
it has all
remember
adults
that.
in it.
Yeah, I remember that this because they do have the children come back in like flashback scenes, but it's
Yeah.
they had to de-age them, and that was like
Yes.
I know there was some controversy over that because it looked really bad, especially
Well,
with
not Billy
Finn
Loomis,
Wolfhard.
not Billy Loomis levels, but I guess. I mean,
Yeah. No, like there was like they were talking about like faces looked warped in
yeah,
some cases
exactly.
because
A
because
little
I
AI.
I like Finn Wolfhard at this point like by the time Chapter 2 came out like had gone through like a growth spurt substantially,
Mm-hmm.
so they had to do a lot to kind of I guess like reshape his face or something,
That's
so just
so
like there's
funny.
something strange looking about it. Craig is telling us that Sophia Lillis was in Gretel and Hansel. I think she played Gretel.
Oh my God, yes. Okay.
Hmm.
There we
Yeah.
go. I remember now.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I so like I going back to what I was saying before, like do you like what would be your childhood fear?
I think it was the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
I think it was
Okay.
I think it was the deep end of the pool. Um and I would say the dark, but like I feel like that's just too general.
Hmm.
But I hated having my back to the door when I slept at night. But I would say in general, like the deep end of a pool, I would never be in by myself. Like ever,
Yeah.
ever, ever. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me it was like definitely the dark, the closet as well. Um,
Tight
like
spaces,
I
like being
always had
locked
to
in.
I mean, I'm still like terrified of tight spaces.
Hmm.
And just like anything just sort of like very like boxed in and claustrophobic. But you know, at that time, I think it was like open doors, like just sort of like open anything. So it's interesting that I say that I have a sense of like claustrophobia now, or like that's my fear, because like probably back then it was just like no, I'm happier for like everything to kind of be contained,
Yeah.
and like I didn't like like having anything like behind me, or just like
Hmm.
like I needed to like have my back against the wall, or like a bed, in a corner or something. But I don't know. I don't think like I was never afraid of water or the pool, so it wouldn't have been that for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm terrified of deep ocean. I'm terrified of the deep end of the pool.
Yeah.
Like my biggest fear, I forget the word for it, but there's an actual phobia. It's like seeing a sunken ship in the water. Like that horrifies me like
Yeah.
nothing else. Seeing a sunken submarine, anything that's like big and mechanic under the water, sunk there that's not supposed to be there, is like the most horrifying thing I can imagine.
So how did you feel when you watched The Little Mermaid for the first time?
That's where the fear came from. No,
Yeah.
actually, I think it came from Titanic. I think it came from seeing Titanic at such a young age, like under there,
Yeah.
because I had a nightmare when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I can still remember it. And I was in a lake, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like in front of me, the Titanic just like lifted up out of the water, like
Oh
just came out of the,
wow.
and it was like all decrepit and old and like horrifying. And yeah. So unknown waters, my biggest fear.
Yeah. Amethyst is saying aliens, the idea of comets hitting the planet. Dementia the Clown. I was terrified of Freddy Krueger when I was in first
Oh
grade.
yeah, Freddy Krueger, hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm trying to remember a time that like any horror movie scared me, and I think it's because I was so desensitized through like the gateway horror of Are You Afraid of the Dark, that by the time I
Mm.
watched like legitimate horror movies, it didn't bother me as much. Like I remember Black Christmas was unsettling. And that's what I thought,
The
like, because there
original
was
or 2006?
the original.
Yeah.
I mean, by 2006, I was already 21, but like
Yeah.
as a child, because I remember we had, and this was like probably linked to like the closet fear, because you know how in some closets they'll have like the hatch to the crawl space that goes up to
Hmm.
the attic.
Yeah.
Um, so I remember we had a few of those. So I was always like, I think the one in my bedroom had that, like that was where like the access to the like upper little like attic area was.
Mm.
So that's why I always had to have the door closed. And I was just like terrified that like somebody was living up there, and they were like coming down through like the closet in the middle of the night, and
Yes.
just like I had to like keep one eye open. There was okay, so there's a movie. It might have been a TV movie. I don't remember. Like the title is very aptly named for the premise. It might be like Watcher in the House, or like Man in the House or something, but it had Mimi Rogers in it, and she's like the mother of this family, and this criminal convict is living in their attic, and he's like obsessed with her, and
Oh my God. Sounds
yeah,
good.
it was like one of these like creepy things. Maybe someone knows the title in the chat, but I remember seeing that, and it wasn't like the movie wasn't scary at all. It was actually like very ridiculous and kind of
Yeah.
comical at times, but it's just like it was the idea of it, the
Yeah.
idea of like someone like living within the walls of your house.
And like it's up to them when they decide to come out.
Hmm.
No, that's how I felt about the movie The Mummy. Like the bugs in the mummy, the scarabs.
Yeah.
That like when I saw that movie didn't scare me at all. I loved that movie, but like I was afraid to sit on like the cushions on the couch because I thought the bugs would come up from the cushions. I thought like on the
Mm.
toilet, like I thought like sitting on the toilet, they'd come up from the toilet and like go up my butt. And like I was always afraid of that after that
Wow.
movie. Yeah, I would always check. I'd like look down. I'd be like checking. There's no like scarabs up my butt.
Hmm. Interesting. So yeah, I think like if Pennywise like needed to come after me, like he would have to live within the walls of my house.
Ooh, and the
That's how you
walls
do
of your
it.
mind,
Absolutely.
the walls
Yeah.
of your dreams.
Just like
Um,
clawing away at like the flesh of my head. Yeah.
yeah, I think, and so yeah, I think Pennywise could be scary because he can transform to stuff like how he, like for Stan, how Stan is so afraid of that one painting. So then
Hmm.
Pennywise can transform into that. But even that looked so CGI that I was like, that's not even
Yeah.
scary. Like it's the idea of it is scary if they could have achieved that in some way, like practically.
I think that the thing that like just makes Pennywise like it just kills any potentiality of him being scary for me is that ridiculous dance. and the way that it's shot, sort of like this like pulsating background. Um, because
When
like
he's
I mean,
jumping.
even yeah, like just like the legs like
Hmm. And the legs
swinging
stick
side to
out each
side.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
it's like that's a meme at this point. Like I've just seen that like people use that GIF. So I don't know. Nothing about this movie terrified me. I don't know. I trying to think of anything that was scary. It
And
just like
and his
it's too modern, you know?
it's an interesting portrayal because Tim Curry did it more as like a weird guy that was kind of a
Yeah.
creepy like sideshow Bob, like I don't know, kind of a freaky guy that you just don't want to be around. Whereas like Bill Skarsgård, I think he's amazing. This movie is kind of, I think, what put him on the map. But I feel like he
Yeah.
plays it more like a dumb little kid. Like he like he played more of that, and like
Hmm.
that isn't as scary, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I did find it scary though in the basement when he like runs at Bill like super quick. Anything that's like
Yeah.
that, like because that's horrifying. Anything that's charging at you really fast is
Yeah.
terrifying. So yeah.
Like 28 days later.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're gonna like charge at me, like that's the most scariest thing.
Yeah, I mean in real life if that happened, like not so much like if I'm watching it on the
Yeah.
screen,
Yeah.
but
Trying to cut it some slack. I'm trying to give it some good,
I know.
some good
You're
stuff.
we're being good cop, bad cop right now.
Yeah, I'm like, it was scary in this one part.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, there's like something that I heard before is that Bill Skarsgård's voice that he does like just sounds a lot like
ooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I can see that because it's
Hmm.
very ooh. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
um, but
absolutely.
but we see him first with Mike. Um, and I don't remember that wasn't in the original movie. I'm sure it was in the book. The whole
Mhm.
burning part
Yeah.
with the Mike and the family and stuff like that. That part I found really interesting because I had never seen like known about that part.
Yeah.
Um, but they give him that, and then we see him next with Stan, and then Ben in the library. Yeah, I think by the time we got to Ben in the library and everything, it kind of felt like by the numbers now. Like we're just gonna keep seeing him. Like
Hmm.
what's the next fear? The next fear.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's like we get it. Like there's almost like too many characters in the story.
yeah.
They could have and like there's not a lot of differentiation between some of them. Like they all kind of in some way like share qualities with another member of the group. So it's just like, I could see where it would become repetitious for sure.
Did you see the Long Walk that came out like
No,
this past year? But you knew of it, right?
I've heard of it, yeah.
And that was a Stephen King, and it was like very similar, where like it just felt like that like camaraderie of like guys coming together, like this gang of friends, and like and I don't know, I think it's cute, but it just felt weird in this movie that they're all being haunted by this thing that they've never like this is actually so terrifying if this was real. Like and then like they'll just have a random scene where they're all just like hanging out on the quarry, like jumping into the lake. And I'm like, I don't think I'd be able to like think I would be able to cope if I saw like this thing come to life. Like I would never think, oh, maybe that was just my imagination. Like even as a kid, I would have known like, no, I saw something insane chase me through the basement library. I don't know, you
Hmm.
know? I just feel like there's a few
Yeah.
times in this movie where they go back and they're just a little bit more jokey, and I'm like, you just went through something really horrific. Like, why aren't you a little more
Yeah.
traumatized?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
think that like as a child I would want to like I've always been like a kind of person like I don't tend to like share trauma or things like that. So I'd probably like be dead in this universe because like I would just be that kid who is just like
I'd
I'm
be
not gonna
telling
say anything. I'm not
everyone.
gonna
Oh,
yeah.
I'd be the opposite. I'd be telling everybody. I'm like, can you believe what I just saw? I would be telling
Hmm.
everybody because I'm like, no, that I've never been one like where in movies when someone like sees something that's like so deliberate and distinct, but it's like it was just like in
Hmm.
their mind. I don't know. I feel like that's very hard to do in real
Yeah.
life. Like you have to be like a drugged out, like hallucinative person, like to see stuff and then like I guess it wasn't really there. Or, like
Yeah.
I don't know. So if I saw it, mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean it would just be a thing that I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna go back there. I'm not gonna go back to that library or anything like
The
that. But like
sewer.
that's like kind of like the whole engine of the movie is because they're teaming up and it's I don't know, like I enjoy the part where they finally go to the house and all of that
Hmm.
stuff. But like for me, the stuff that is the most effective is like when they're teaming up and they're kind of like facing off against the bullies or things like that because like that feels more realistic to me.
Yes, I actually did enjoy the bullies in this movie. I think that if I was like, because it just kind of reminded me of Sid from Toy Story.
Hmm.
And like I remember that being my first crush as a child. Um, but yeah, no,
Oh, really?
yeah, that was my very first crush.
Okay.
As a young child was Sid from Toy Story.
Not Woody or Buzz
Nope,
or
just the
Mr.
nasty
Potato
kid
Head.
next door that was abusive and like
Yeah.
psychologically disturbed. Um, but the scene where Henry kills his dad, was that not giving you Michael Myers 2007? I mean Halloween
Oh,
2007,
right.
where the young Michael Myers comes in and his dad gets tied up to the chair and
The
he cuts
stepdad.
his throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is like almost an identical scene, kind
Did
of.
okay, but then I think yeah, now that you mention it, but I think that there was two things that were going through my mind. A, is this actually happening? Because this like it felt like there's been so much that is like, psychological fake out. Um,
I think he gets arrested though in the next movie. So
didn't
he
he
must
die? Didn't he get pushed down the well?
no, he's in the second movie. I remember that. He's an
Mhm.
old man in the second movie. Not an old man, but he plays him
Yeah.
like an older version of himself. He
Yeah.
gets out of the mental ward. His friend dies, the Patrick, the one that like
The one into the sewer with the hairspray
yeah.
and the lighter,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so okay, yeah, because I just assumed that he was dead because Mike pushed him down the well, and at that point, all I was thinking is like, wow, Mike, you're a murderer now. I mean,
Wow.
it was self-defense, but that was like a pretty big deal. No, the only thing I could think of whenever it was it Henry, is that the name of the character?
Yeah.
He just like looks exactly like Kevin Bacon, like a young Kevin Bacon. So like that was just like so
Yeah.
distracting to me because all I could see was Kevin Bacon.
He kind of was looking like the kid from Stand By Me, River Phoenix a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I get like the
Like the
mullet. Yeah,
if he had a mullet. Yeah. I
yeah.
could kind of see that.
Did he have a mullet? Did River
I
Phoenix
don't
not have a
think so.
mullet? Yeah.
I don't think so. But they I don't know. I used
I'm
to
sure he
love
had
that
a
movie.
mullet at one point though.
That oh wait, that's Stand By Me. That's another and that's a camaraderie movie. But I was a
Yeah.
kid when I saw that and I think that I liked that.
But I feel like Stand By Me is like there's just four of them. And
Yeah.
there's a differentiation
It's a
between them.
great
Like
movie.
everyone has like their own distinct personality.
Yeah. I
So
love that
also,
movie actually.
yeah, Jerry O'Connell, like one of
Yeah.
his earliest roles, I
Oh, I
think.
love that movie. It's a
Yeah.
great movie.
No, I haven't
Um
watched in a while, but that's one that I would absolutely revisit. I mean, obviously it's not Stephen King horror, but yeah,
um but it's good. And
it's good, yeah.
the seeing the ending, I won't spoil it yet, but the end kind of scared me a little bit.
Of Stand By Me.
Hmm. When they
I'm
find
trying
what
to
they're looking
remember.
for.
Okay.
Like just the shot of it. Like
Why is
they
this? Why are we dancing around the subject? We know what the movie
oh
is
yeah,
forever
they
years
go
old.
looking for a dead body.
The dead body. Yeah,
When they
yeah.
showed the dead body, that part scared me.
Mm.
Um,
I mostly remember at this point there like just like certain set pieces because there was the tadpole scene. Um, there was the flashback of the hot dog eating contest. I believe that's what it was.
oh, and Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Oh, the pie eating contest.
Oh, is it pie?
I
Okay,
think it's
yeah.
pie. I think it's
Pie, thank
pie.
you. Yeah. No, that makes more sense. Yeah.
With fat, what do they call them? They called him something nasty, lard ass
Yeah.
or something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God, that was
And
so what a
and then
dark
like the
movie.
junkyard dog and all that. And the
Mhm.
train. Like there's like that is a coming of age movie. Like that's a movie that I feel like Stand By Me and The Goonies, like they're also timeless.
Yeah.
That you can just like pop it in and just like it doesn't matter what generation you're from. Like you can
Hmm.
just find a way to relate to it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I will say I did like the one scene in this movie where all the kids are in the garage watching the slideshow.
Hmm.
I found that scene a little bit pretty effective because
Yeah.
they're like going through scene by frame and like you see a little bit of
Pennywise's face, like under
Pennywise's face
the
change.
the
Yeah,
billowing red hair.
and then he bursts out in a CGI shot,
Yeah.
scaring everyone frantically.
Yeah, I mean I don't share the same sentiment with you, and I remember that scene in the theater and just being like, this is what horror is nowadays. Because this, so 2017, I had actually kind of given up on the horror genre for quite a while. And
Hmm.
I'm just trying to remember like because like what Scream 4 came out in 2011. I think it was like later than that. It was I don't know. I just remember there was just like a string of like really tepid horror movies that came out in the early 2010s because I never really cared for the Conjuring universe. So it might have been that, and it
Me
just felt
neither.
like, yeah, it just felt like everything felt the same. Everything was like The Conjuring or
Everything felt
Annabelle.
CGI. Everything felt very
Yeah.
CGI. Like in the 2010s, it was just like everything was about jump scares, which I mean,
Hmm.
things have always kind of been, but that's one thing I'll notice. Like any scares I felt from this movie was purely jump scare based, whereas
Yeah.
anything I felt scared of the original made for TV movie, I felt more of a haunting
Yeah.
feeling, more of a creep feeling, as opposed to like ah, my blood pressure is high
It's
feeling.
more about like vibes and atmosphere and yeah, and I
Yes, which I
and I
love, and there's a different a whole different goal with that kind of vibe.
yeah. And I just remember like having not seen a lot of like the horror movies that came out in the mid 2010s. So it might have been like one of the first that I sort of like went and like, okay, let's see what like the new horror movies are that were coming out. And I just remember being disappointed and feeling like, yeah, it's just more of this like CGI and jump scare
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like it had like what I was saying, like it just feels too modern for,
yeah,
like what horror is now.
very polished, very
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
not
know.
like overly interesting to look at. Like I feel like the color grading, there's some like pops of color here and there, but like overall, like I think it just like it has that kind of like grayish look to it.
Yeah, I will say I liked some of the camera work in this movie. I liked in the opening scene, at least with Georgie. I liked the use of a crane. I think that they probably
Hmm.
used because there was a lot of like a lot of high shots. I don't know if it was drone or crane, but I think it was a crane. So I actually liked some of that, but I don't know. I think I remember the sequel being really colorful, right?
Mm,
But or
yeah,
whenever they're in that town square that has like
yeah.
the big tall guy, like that those scenes were always really colorful, but
Hmm.
otherwise, yeah, very
Yeah.
dirty feeling town.
Yeah. No, I honestly don't remember anything of the sequel. And I don't know if I'm like eager to watch it either, because I just feel like I got enough out of this one.
Yeah. They I
What's
think it
the
would have benefited if you just put them together. It's too long on their own.
Yeah.
They're too long on their own. I'm
But
sorry I'm
like
gonna say it.
would you have edited them so it was like the length of one movie?
I would have edited it like I would have probably cut some stuff out so that it's more like the the made for TV movie.
Well, that one's
Um
like really long too because it's
True. Because that was like
um,
three different nights I think they aired that. So it was three
yeah, I'm trying
parts,
to
I think,
find
right?
it. It's 187 minutes
Or was it
long.
two parts? I don't
So
know. So
that's three
it would have to
hours
be
of
long either way,
yeah.
but I just don't like having the two different time periods.
Yeah.
I would
And I
like
guess
one.
like I mean there wasn't it's because it's that was 2019, so it's only 2 years difference.
Hmm.
Um Craig is saying they made a mistake in the film because the hairstyle, the mullet, had not come out yet. Tim may correct me,
Oh.
LOL, but I think I am correct.
No, actually, that's so interesting. I'm not a huge like hairstyle person, so like I don't know,
Hmm.
but that's very interesting.
Yeah, like I feel like the mullet that would have been like from the like grunge era, just like the early 90s, no?
The 90s,
Yeah.
maybe. I
Hmm.
have no idea. Yeah, because I think of 80s and I think of like those big gelled spikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was just like the Stranger Things. Like I think of uh what's his name?
Oh, was it Billy with the long hair?
Billy.
With like the long rock and roll hair?
Steve.
Oh, Steve, he's one of the
I
main
know
characters, the big with the big coif hair.
like the almost like a pompadour, but then there was
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
not a mullet, but just like longer in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
I think of that. I was talking about like the bad guy in the bad punky guy in season three. He had like long hair. I think that was Billy.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah. I honestly don't remember anything because I
Yeah.
skipped the like whatever the most recent season was. And I had seen seasons 1 to 4 because I watched the first season when it first came out, and I just didn't really have much of an urgency to like go back and watch it. But then when the fourth season came out, everyone was talking about it, so I
Mm-hmm.
binged seasons two and three, and then four was like on at the time, and I went through it, and I was just like, yeah, I was enjoying it, but at the same time, it was just sensory overload. It was like so much at once, and it felt like everything else, and just like an abundance of CGI. Like I
Yeah.
felt like
And it
I
gets
could see the
worse.
homage, but I couldn't feel the essence.
And the CGI just gets worse as the show goes on. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't watch the latest season, but I've watched plenty of videos on it because it's just
Mhm.
crazy. I don't know. And again, it gives that feeling of that young camaraderie, which I just don't like to watch that much. A
Yeah.
little too
I mean,
cheesy for me.
I will say for like for Stranger Things, one thing that does that I prefer over it is that there's more like adult character storylines, so they're just kind of like
To break it up.
interwoven.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Because like I was saying, it's like, you go back and watch a lot of these shows that you watched as a child where there were like adult characters, like the OC is a great example. And it's just like, I
Mm.
don't care about like the teenagers when I watch it. I want to see like all the drama with Julie Cooper
Yeah.
and
What's really going on?
Sandy and all that. Yeah, like that's the interesting stuff to me. So it's just like as an adult, I am more interested in seeing the grown-up character storylines. I don't know what it is. It's just like the kids because their drama just feels like it's just like you can easily resolve this if you just, do this or this or this, so
Yeah.
it becomes a little tedious. Um,
Did you feel that way in Scream 5?
well, I mean, with Scream 5, the like where was the mom? It's just that
Well, I mean the adults being Sydney and Gale and then the kids
oh, I
being
see. Yeah. Hmm. I mean, I guess so, but just also by the very nature that they are the characters with history. They've already been built up. Um, but I don't know. We don't have to get back into that. We already covered
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
go back
True,
and
true,
listen
true.
a few weeks ago. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel that that's what this movie, maybe why I don't connect to this one as much. Whereas I feel like, you know, Stand By Me, I don't think that there was any like adult characters in that or because it was just like the kids, right?
And the scary punky teenagers. What's his name? Sutherland,
Kiefer
is that it?
Sutherland,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland, who's so cool, but so scary.
So
Um,
cool. Did you ever
so
watch
cool, so
24?
scary. No, but I remember when that was on TV.
Yeah.
Because I think because Buffy would be on FX, and so that was on FX.
Hmm.
So I would see the commercial all the time.
Yeah. But I think like when it comes to Stephen King properties, like I always prefer the ones that have the grown-ups in them or something, or at least like, like when I look at Carrie, because like obviously they're all teenagers in high school, but they're still like a grown-up quality to them. They're like
Hmm.
graduating school, but they're it's almost like they're children who are playing dress up and trying to be adults. And then you have the mom, Margaret White, who's like, I mean, may as well be a child.
Hmm.
So there's
Yeah.
just like this interesting juxtaposition. But like, when I think of like the the Stephen King movie adaptations that I like the most, it's just like they're all the ones that have to do with like the grown-up themes or like just more of the adult characters.
Yeah, and even though Scream, the original Scream, they were in high school, they just felt more adult. Like they never felt like
Yeah.
kids. They never, you
Because
know.
they were all 26 years old in real life.
Exactly. Exactly. Making us think that high school kids were so grown
Yeah.
up and they
But I
really
think it's
weren't.
also like with Scream and just like Kevin Williamson's writing in particular, like he was like built a universe where just like normal teenagers did not speak like that. Even though a lot of the slanguage or whatever is just like stuff that like people were actually using and saying in real
Hmm.
life. Like it was just like the way that they talked in Scream is just almost like a little too clever, a little too
Yeah, of
quick and
course.
sharp, which I mean like
Hmm.
it works great. Like that's what it should be in a film, but you would never go to your high school in like 1996 and find other people talking like that.
No, they would sound like, especially in the 90s, kids were
Hmm.
loud and like doofus. Actually, I could see kids maybe talking like Stu. Like I could see kids being like that in the 90s.
What do you think that, so let's just say that it was remade again, or this movie came out
Yes.
now, what would the kids sound like if this was all taking place in 2026?
Oh my God, they would have no personality. It'd be a bunch of like stoic, like a bunch of miserable stoic kids that like aren't afraid of anything. And like I don't know, like it would have to like scare them in their social media and like send out like nudes of them or like I don't know, bad things of them
Yeah.
or something like that. Like
Do you
what
like do you
scares
think that
kids
that's a
nowadays?
thing? It's just like people don't like they I don't think that people have like lost their sense of fear, but they just maybe like displaced it into other things.
Yeah, and I think maybe they just maybe they don't want to show it because they're afraid to seem corny or something like that, or like they just
Yeah.
they haven't watched as much media, so they aren't as like aware. Because I don't know, when we were kids, we would just like rot in front of the TV and just like watch so much media and like get so many
Yeah.
ideas put in our heads. Whereas now, I feel like kids are just playing games or like talking to their friends, so they're not as
But isn't
aware
there
of.
like with like social media, I mean it's obviously not the same, but there's still so much access and like quicker access to current events and things that like you're getting it. But I feel that maybe there isn't like the same um dire sense with a lot of things. Like when
Eh,
stuff happens, it's more of like how can we benefit from this? Like how do we like put a spin on this? Whereas like I feel maybe back in the 90s if something happens or even like 9/11 and
mhm.
when that occurred it's just sort of like there was this all-encompassing fear that just sort of
Yeah.
like took over and you just sort of like consumed as much like news as you could and like it just like sort of festered into this like the attitudes that had kind of like come about at the time and sort of like grown to at this point.
I agree, and I think a lot of it has to do with just like the vibes that we felt and as far as like feeling fear like just watching certain movies like kind of like I'm trying to think of a movie Nightmare on Elm Street 4 that's the only
Yeah.
example I can think of like it gave me such a vibe and then like it like the original it chapter it movie like gave such a vibe and such a feeling a haunting feeling that I feel like kids won't feel nowadays because they're on their
Yeah.
phones at the same times they're not fully experiencing that vibe that we were feeling when we would watch movies as a kid so they're not feeling the same haunted chill that we'd feel after a movie. Like were you like that as a kid when you'd like go see a movie and when you leave the movie you'd still feel the essence of that movie? Like you'd still if you saw like a scary movie as a kid, you'd walk
Yeah.
out kind of feeling it like you were in the movie.
Sure. Like depending on the movie, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think that if it was set in 2026, the way that Pennywise might, get like strike fear into the hearts of his victims would be through social media.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be, oh God, that would be awful. Could you imagine that movie?
Yeah. And like posting pictures as them but they're like doing things that they wouldn't do
It's like, who's
or
this Pennywise account? Like they have they have like a million followers. I have to follow them.
yeah, right. Who's this
Mhm.
bitch named Penny?
This influencer, Pennywise. Yeah.
Right?
That's
No,
insane.
that would be
Yeah.
a really lame movie.
Yeah.
And I always go back to thinking about Danielle Harris and how she's saying that like she wouldn't know how to act with this new generation because like in her generation people acted more, like emoted more,
Hmm.
whereas now a lot of the acting has to be a lot more subdued and a lot more like bland because that's how people are.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, I remember you telling me that. I think it's also just sort of reflective in like a lot of the horror that just like obviously everything, even if a movie is not about social media or anything like that, it's just
Hmm.
it's so prevalent of just you always see a phone or a phone is used or something like this. Actually, the remake that they just did of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, for the most part, it's really good about not like there's nothing modernistic about it in terms of like technology, but there is like you'll see like a character like she'll get a phone call and you just see like her iPhone or things like that. And I don't know, I just like with stuff like that, I always just question like why do you need it? Like just if you took it out altogether, you could find a way to organically tell your story.
Mm.
Um, I think maybe like a lot of like studios and filmmakers are afraid today that audiences might be critical of something to just be like, well, that would never happen because you can just easily like look up this information on the internet, or you
Yeah.
can call someone, or there's not really any danger. And obviously for a movie like this that is very specific to be set in 1989, you're not going to have that. So like they have the luxury of, you know, using that as an excuse as to why. But I think that more movies, even stuff today, like you were talking about that, what was the primate?
Yes.
Is that what it's called? Like
The
I
monkey
I don't
movie.
yeah, I don't know what I still haven't seen it, but is there like probably a lot of like people with like trying to get help with their cell phones and like that being like playing a factor into it?
From what I remember, I'm trying to think, like, of course, like they're trying to get help and like trying to get service
Yeah. Which is
and yet
exactly what
yes.
Amethyst is saying right now in the comments. Like, always have to find my phone, has no signal. The battery is dying. The
You have
internet
to
is
find some
down.
reason. Yeah, or like it falls in
Yeah.
the pool or like it's left in the car and you're trapped in a
Yeah.
house. Like there always has to be some reason.
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie Funny Games?
The one where the two creepy boys come and like tie up
Yeah,
a
with their
family and they
white
do.
gloves and
Yeah, I don't
is
remember what they do. I remember it's like dark though, right? Like it's kind of like I don't
like
remember if it has a good ending or not. Like it has,
psychologically, yeah, it's well, I'm not going to give it away, but there's like two versions. There's the original and then there's the American remake with Naomi Watts. And I've only seen the remake, so but I'm
yeah,
assuming
that's what
that it
I've seen.
happens in both versions where earlier in the film, like the husband or the wife, I forget who it is, like drop their phone in water. So then they like
Hmm.
they're like, okay, let's get a bowl of rice and just like poured the rice into the bowl, stuck the phone in there, and like periodically throughout the movie they would go and check to see if the phone was working again. And it was just
Uh-huh.
like one of those things that was very distracting.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of What Lies Beneath when like Michelle Pfeiffer
Right.
like her phone like didn't get service until she was like a certain part of the bridge and she's like
Right.
and it's showing like the bars like back on that old ass cell phone.
Yeah, honestly though, like like for my internet in my apartment because it's just like it's it's a long apartment and my bedroom is
Hmm.
like the furthest away from the modem, so I just like will try to be accessing internet and when I'm in bed and it's just like Jesus Christ, I'll have to change it to 5G. Um, but yeah, it's that's never bothered me in What Lies Beneath, and I think it's just because I think that's such
No, I love that
a
movie
well-made
so
movie.
much. It never
Mhm.
bothered me. I mean, it just made me think of that. Like, just like oh, the phone, like I can't make a call until I get halfway across the bridge.
Yeah.
Um,
Amethyst is also mentioning Cameron throwing Allison's phone in the pudding in Halloween 2018.
um, yes. Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes. I
yeah,
don't know
just
why.
conveniently so she could like be not able to, or like when Lori and Judy Greer try to call Allison and they can't get a hold of her because her phone is like in some fucking pudding.
Yes. Well, even worse is like Better Watch Out. Did you ever see that movie where like the girl is watching the little kid?
Yeah,
She's babysitting. And yeah, and then
yeah, we
he like
covered it on here.
okay, yeah, and
This
he
is
like
before
taught
you, yeah.
yeah, way before my time.
Yeah,
No, but he tosses her the phone, but it lands perfectly in the fish tank. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, like so stupid.
Yeah, anything we have to do. So I guess,
Yeah.
it 2017 for taking place in 1989 does not have these problems.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's the thing. It's just like everything is either like plagued by modern technology or it is just a remake of something that has, come out years earlier.
yeah, I just feel like if you can't make it scary practical, then like then figure out a way to make it scarier with like the shots or with the lighting or
Mm,
something. Because I know things can look cheesy sometimes and you're just doing it practically, but
yeah.
but I don't care then. Like I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't go into filming something like, oh, we're just gonna do this all in CGI anyway. We're all just gonna this is all be CGI. I feel like try to make it look as good as possible in real life.
Hmm. Craig is mentioning the film Fall. The cell phone not able to work being that high up. Very, very scary. Did you see Fall?
Fall, was that the two girls that climb
Yes,
like a
that is
beam?
actually, yeah, no, they climb up that like radio antenna
Yes.
tower. Um, okay, so that is a fear of mine, heights. I do not like being
Oh
high up,
yeah.
especially with like I can climb a mountain, I'm just like I can climb a mountain, but I can be on a mountain and be like on a ledge and like looking down, and for some reason like that doesn't bother me as much, just because like I guess it's not a vertical drop, at least in
Mhm.
some cases, most cases. But to be in like a high-rise building and sort of like step out onto the balcony and like lean over the edge
Yeah,
is
no.
very unsettling for me.
No, that is nightmare fuel.
Mm.
I've been to the top of the Empire State Building and like I couldn't even walk out onto the balcony because I
Oh
just
no.
it's too scary. And there's a building called the Edge here in New York. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a lot of people, it's like a tourist place. You go and see
Is
it.
it
It's
that weird like diamond-shaped thing? It's like all like
glass.
exterior.
Yeah, it's all glass, so you're walking on glass. It's very much like the floor in Final Destination 6.
Okay.
That glass floor. Yeah, and so
Hmm.
you can walk right up to the edge. It's called the Edge, yeah. It's so horrific. I couldn't do it.
Mm,
I'm like, I don't like it.
yeah. Well, the CN Tower in Toronto. So like that has a glass floor on the observation deck. And I'm
Mm.
actually like and that would be similar to the Final Destination 6 scenario. And I've like walked on that. Like, I mean, I'll be very trepidatious about it and I'll just sort of like, I'll stand there and not make any quick movements and just sort of like look down and be like,
Mhm.
okay, and now I'm gonna get off. But there will be people who will like lay like face down, like belly down
Hmm.
on the floor and like spread their arms and their legs and just be like, whoa. And it's like, no, I cannot do that.
No, too scary.
Hmm.
Way too scary.
Yeah. So yeah, Pennywise can either live in the crawl space of my house, or he can, I guess, take me up to like the top of a radio tower and have the rope uh fall off, or whatever the circumstances were in that movie. It was terrifying. That was like, of all the like more recent movies that I've seen, because that was like probably like
Hmm.
3 or 4 years ago at this point. I don't remember the last time something made my palms sweat, because I am not like a palm
Mm.
sweater.
Yeah,
And it was just
I
like I
am.
found that like my palms were getting really fucking sweaty, and it's just like this is gross and this is scary, and I just want this to be over and for everyone to be on solid ground again.
I liked the movie. I saw the twist from a mile away. Like I knew what
Mm,
like that didn't trick me at all. I knew
yeah.
like from that when that happened in the and you know what I'm talking about. I from that moment on I was like not real. Not
I
real.
think,
All this is not real.
yeah. I mean, a
I
lot
just
of it
knew
was
it.
very telegraphed. Like I felt that like a lot of the twists and turns I could see coming from a
Hmm.
mile away, because it's just, it was just obvious. Like when you're in a single setting like that, like the whole movie takes place at the top of this thing.
Yeah.
Like there's
Like the
not a
movie
lot of,
Frozen. Did you ever see
yeah.
Frozen?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Similar.
that's scary from like a fear base of just like being outside in the cold.
Yeah. But like being
Um,
trapped in like one spot
yeah,
all night
on
long or
the
all day.
on the chairlift for
Yeah.
sure. Hmm.
A similar kind of vibe.
Um, Craig is asking you a question. So, Tim, which makeup do you think is scarier and harder to do, Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård?
Um, I think I think there's a part in the original that like Tim Curry's gets pretty scary, right? Like but I know that Tim Curry didn't want a lot of face makeup. That was like one of his requirements to do this movie, to do the original movie.
Yeah,
So I think Pennywise, from this one, Bill Skarsgård, because they end up doing a lot more with it. Granted, like sometimes I can't tell what CGI and what is like makeup,
yeah,
but I know especially in the second one when like he's melting, like when his face is melting, that like looks like a pretty hard prosthetic makeup to do for sure.
yeah,
Tim Curry's is probably easy because it just looks like regular clown makeup
yeah.
with
Well, I mean, like,
yeah.
I feel like makeup has advanced so much since then as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's
Mhm.
one reason why like clowns never really scared me because it always just looks like someone in makeup as opposed to a creature that like the makeup is part of their skin,
Yeah.
you know?
What about like Ronald McDonald?
He just seems like a pedophile to me. Like a weird uncle that you did not invite to the party that showed up like that.
Yeah.
That's what he gives.
I feel like with like a little um just like flourish here and
Mhm.
there with like his visage, you could make him very scary looking.
Yeah. Very scary or
Yeah.
like oddly attractive. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If
No,
he
but
just
yeah.
like start suddenly develop like Mr. Clean
Oh
physique.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. With that
Hmm.
wild face.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and did you know that in the book, Mr. King wrote that all the kids have an orgy?
Actually?
Yeah, that's actually in this book. I don't know
Wow.
if I think it's like at the end of this movie, like when they all survive. I think like I don't know how it happens in the book, but I know that it happens for sure that they all have an orgy.
Well, maybe
Um,
that's the scene of them like doing the blood oath, and it's just sort of
yes,
like
exactly. It
the
wasn't a blood oath in
studio
the book, babe.
the studio's like, well, we can't do an orgy because they're
Yeah.
all like 13 years old. So yeah, they're just gonna cut their hands and like and squeeze them together. And all I'm thinking is just like, that's so excessive. Why can't you just like, why can't your word be your bond? Why can't you just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but like, no, let's like cut ourselves
No,
open and
absolutely not.
like and just like spread the like the fluids together and like let
Ew.
everyone like
In the
bleed
80s,
into each other's
nonetheless.
wounds exactly where it's just like nobody knew yet.
Just a post-victory blood oath. Let's just
Yeah,
cut our hand. It's always the palm, the hardest place to heal.
I
Let's
can
do
only
it.
imagine if like Survivor was a show that was around in the 80s and people were just sort of like, we're gonna form an alliance but we're gonna do a blood oath, and they're just like cutting their hands and like shaking
I
each other's hands and being like, yeah,
think that's gonna take a long time to heal.
yeah.
So maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. I would
Um,
never. And then like at the end of just like her kissing Bill and just like putting the hand on like his cheek or whatever, and just like, oh, like, why do you gotta get what do you gotta make this mess of blood now?
ew, yeah. And also just like seeing kid like love scenes is just weird too. The older we get, like just
Mhm.
seeing like kid romance is just so like weird. I don't know.
Is there any, I'm trying to think of like a kid romance of like in a movie that is like tasteful or that I actually liked or was like rooting for those characters.
Of kids movies, you're saying? With like kids
Or
in it?
just like kids in movies.
Yeah, probably Stand By Me. Um,
What was the romance in that?
oh, romance. Oh no,
Yeah,
never mind. Well, could have been one, you know.
depending. Yeah.
Um, no, a romance of kids.
Romance of Kids. That's like the
How
title of the next Stephen King book.
romance of kids? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, how about a movie where they use like authentic child actors, like a movie like Grease, where no,
Um, what,
um,
okay, so just speaking of which, because is there supposed to be this love triangle? Because the one thing I do remember in
yeah,
the second one and like with the miniseries is that she ends up with Ben. So
yeah.
there's this thing because he's like interested in her. She seems to be like into him too in a certain way. And then Bill just sort of like swoops in, and it's like by the end of the movie, because she's just like, anyway, see you around, and he's like, well, wait, like I'm gonna kiss you now, and this like changes everything.
Yeah, I remember that in the original too. Yeah, there's always that weird little love triangle. I thought
Hmm.
it because in this movie she realizes it was Ben that wrote it, but I think it happens later in the original, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's because it's cutting back and forth. It just feels later in the original. But yeah, Ben, Bev, and Bill, like three short B names.
Ben, Bev, Bill.
Bill,
So
Ben, and Bev.
Ben, Bev, Bill, Stan, Richie, Eddie, Mike,
Mike. Yep.
Mike.
Classic, classic names.
Yeah, Bev. I just hear like Beverly, and I think of Beverly Leslie from
Who
Will
is
and
that?
Grace. It's the Leslie
Uh,
Jordan character,
oh
like
yeah, yeah,
Karen's
yeah. Oh yeah,
Karen's rival,
Beverly.
like the old
Uh-huh.
homosexual who's just like
Uh-huh.
still in the closet.
My car when I was 16, name was Beverly. I named her Beverly
Mm,
because she was a huge white Buick, like a tank. Never had all four hubcaps, always dented and scratched.
yeah.
I called her Beverly, the bad bitch Buick.
Beverly. Just
Hmm.
think of like Beverly Hills or Beverly D'Angelo. I think
Beverly,
they're Beverly's, yeah.
my car was an old like frumpy lunch lady, Beverly.
Beverly. That's just like if you were to write a story and there was a lunch lady character, her name would be Bev.
100%.
Yeah,
She couldn't have another name. Or Marge. Marge and Bev.
Marge. Marge. I just think of like Marge Simpson.
Oh my God, Jumanji. I love that movie. The original Jumanji, that was a great one.
Is that, and that's a movie with like a child romance in it?
I don't think there's romance in it because they're brother and sister.
Well, I
Mm.
think that maybe Craig is talking about like they start off because that's like the Robin Williams character is a young boy who's played by what's his face from Halloween H2O. The one who's not Josh Hartnett.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I would not know his name, but he is Alan, right? Like he plays like young Alan
Yes,
in
like
this
young
movie.
Alan,
Yeah.
yeah. It's been
Oh
a
my
while since I've seen Jumanji. I
God.
have not seen any of the sequels. There's like 10 of them now, aren't there?
I don't like I know there's definitely two with The Rock. I don't know about more than that, but like
Yeah.
it's just it's again very modern. Like it's a video game and like it's like all like trying to be funny, whereas the original was like darker. That like 90s like kind of like dark kids movie that was like funny but like adult themed.
Hmm.
I love those movies. Everything from the 90s was like that.
Well, I think actually now is as good a time as ever to get on over to the cherry picker.
It's not like we kill people on purpose.
All right. Last week we asked you who deserves to die the most in Scream 6. I nominated Diet Cherry Coke Girl. Tim, you nominated Detective Wayne Bailey. This was a very close one,
Was it?
probably closer than it's been in a long time. Across Patreon, Instagram, and YouTube, the final vote was 457 for Diet Cherry Coke Girl versus
Ooh.
427 for Detective Wayne Bailey.
Wow,
Yeah.
very close.
I think the Instagram poll was actually in favor of Detective Bailey by 3 votes. So this is why
Hmm.
you gotta go out there. You gotta vote. It's important to vote.
Yeah.
Let's see what the comments are saying about these two. Chief Rue, Diet Cherry Coke Girl was convinced enough that Sam was a killer to cause a huge public scene, but too stupid to think about why publicly angering her might not be the safest idea. Could you imagine if that was the case and Sam just like went over and shanked her? Just like, yeah, I'm a killer. Like, don't fuck with me. Michael
Ooh.
Diamond, Diet Cherry Coke Girl for being another fool that believes internet rumors to the point of attacking people in the streets. Blue Box, I voted for Diet Cherry Coke Girl before because F that bunt, but I'm giving my vote to Wayne Bailey now. I just feel so
Ooh.
embarrassed by him, like an uncle in his 50s trying to post dance videos on TikTok. This is not for you or your lame ass children. The real answer to who deserves to die the most in Scream 6 is Scream 6, all of it. Ooh,
Yes.
shots
Ooh.
fired.
Hmm.
Fear queer horror guru, not the Diet Cherry Coke girl. She was justified by doing that. 136 jellyfish. Diet Coke girl never asked about Aunt Kate scars. Aunt Kate's scars. Really?
She
No,
never asked.
I'm just in the habit of calling her Aunt.
Should she have asked about that when she threw the cherry Coke?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a inside callback joke. Yeah.
Power Kate scars.
Kate scars. Kate scars guards. B-boy Tev, Quinn ragdolled Gail's boyfriend and one-upped Amber, but I can't vote her, so her dad is the next best option.
Hmm.
Jazzy Boo, Diet Cherry Coke Girl, because how dare you make me cold, wet, and sticky, as well make a scene and add unwanted attention to me for no reason. I love that like
True.
Jazzy Boo is like speaking in like the first person of Sam here.
No, it's true though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Halloween in New York City is often quite cold. So
Yeah.
like I didn't really get that vibe in the movie. But
Nobody was wearing jackets. I mean,
yeah,
I
no,
guess
it
like afterward, because she had her little jacket on throughout most of the movie.
yeah,
But
but if I got a soda thrown at me, oh my God, like
yeah,
you'd see cold breath, like it'd be like cold.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Sean Prince, Diet Cherry Coke Girl, didn't even turn out to be a ghost face. She was just an asshat who was a fan of terrible soda. Why ruin the cherry Coke by getting the diet version? For that alone, she should die. At least Wayne was a grieving father. What's Diet Cherry Coke Girl's excuse?
Well,
Probably thought she'd found her 5 minutes of internet fame. I still really like Screevy, even though it probably hasn't aged well. I'll always be a fan of the winning duo of Barrera and Ortega. Also, at this moment, I'm super worried for Scream 7. Definitely reading some major red flags, but I still have hope that it might be good. I guess we'll find out soon. What were you gonna
well,
say?
in my head canon, she didn't mean to get cherry Coke. It was a mistake, and she's like, she was walking with it, and she's like, "Oh, this is so gross. I fucking hate this. This is disgusting." Then she sees Sam, and she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this bitch." She's like, "Perfect. Hold on." Opens it and like toss it, and
She wanted vanilla Coke.
yeah, she did, or
Yeah.
hell, she wanted regular. She wanted anything else besides
Yeah.
cherry, and so she's like,
hmm
"Great, perfect. Now I know where I can throw it."
You know what would have been much better than Quinn being revealed as the killer if it was Diet Cherry Coke Girl and just like that just leaves Mindy and then she'd be like, no, it's me, bitch. And the first thing she does is throw more Cherry Coke at her.
What if instead of saying Mindy, she's like Cherry Coke girl?
And
That's
she's
right,
like,
it's
that's
me.
right, but yeah, it's me. It's been me all along. Psh. Yeah.
Just another Cherry Coke.
Yeah.
Why always Cherry?
hmm
Oh.
Grant Dempsey, Bailey's backstory and job make no sense, and his post-reveal persona is pretty goofy. But I find myself enjoying Dermot Mulroney's ridiculous scenery chewing anyway, and I've had fun headcaning a few things about Bailey's motivation, so I'm actually not gonna vote Bailey Soda Girl it is. Spidey fan, Diet Cherry Coke Girl, because didn't pick Frankie. Or we didn't nominate Frankie. Okay, gotcha.
Mm.
Uh, Amethyst Frost, DCCG, uh, aka Angry Woman on IMDb, is a cherry picker legend. Wayne sucks. I guess that's her credited name then, Angry Woman.
Ah,
I like Diet Cherry Coke Girl better. I think
yeah,
it's yeah.
that's who she is.
Yeah. M. Davis, well, Detective Bailey killed a bunch of people, so well, that's not always what counts, M. Davis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's criteria. You can kill people, but
Depends how annoying you are.
if you throw Diet Cherry Coke and yell murderer, you know, you might deserve it a little bit more. Jackie
Murder.
Simmons. Jackie Simmons, any man who describes his son as virile, virile, has got to
Vero.
go. I just couldn't take Bailey seriously. Donna Darko. I'm surprised to see so much love for Diet Cherry Coke Cola girl. Detective Bailey was so unhinged, I thought he would run away with it. Silent Saturn. DCCG is the kind of pick me that gets upset when girl ghost faces kill men and pretends it was really Stu all along. Get her out of here. That sounds personal. Uh, I got a big one here. Uh, Jartist. Diet Cherry Coke Girl is long overdue for her comeuppance. Firstly, I hate diet iterations of Coke and Pepsi, as you might as well just have the normal version given that the aspartame is worse for you than sugar. I digress. Diet
Tastes
Cherry Coke
different.
Girl
Tastes
is
different.
Diet Cherry Coke Girl is a trashy internet troll who feels her opinions are a valid excuse to commit assault. She's also not very bright, as assaulting someone you suspect of committing murder is not a wise idea, much like her unwise choice of a back alley Spice Girl Halloween costume. She was interested enough in the story of Richie Kirsch to know that he was murdered by Sam and knows what Sam looks like to randomly recognize her on the streets. However, not interested enough to read that Sam, her sister, and a small community of people were brutally attacked and or actually murdered by Richie and his accomplice. The situation had to have been on the news given the Stab movie's serious popularity. So how she couldn't see Sam as a victim is ridiculous. Bailey has a minimal excuse due to having lost a child, not a valid one, but a legit investment in his hatred for Sam. Who the F is Diet Cherry Coke Girl to Richie, other than a pick me? Bailey did die in the story, so he got what he deserved. It's time DC CG gets hers. Lastly, there should have been a scene where she splits off from her friends and Ghostface gets her just for the ill of it. That would have been fun cannon fodder for the kill count. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah,
also
I
love
know,
how
I
everyone
agree.
is just like taken to calling her DCCG.
That's what she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan Jameson, out of everyone in the film, if it's these characters, there's a character who's literally known as Date Rape Frankie, and he lives on to target more girls. Well, maybe next time we cover Scream 6.
Yeah, we'll choose him.
Screw Scriforum ONW. I kind of liked the Dietary Coke girl. She made Sam more sympathetic and led to some actual believable, decent dialogue between Sam and Danny. And good dialogue is scarce in the new Scream movies. Wayne is so idiotic, so I guess him. And Capricorn Skellington, I'm voting for Bailey because all of his kids were killers. Doesn't say much for his parenting skills.
That is pretty wild. Like, I wonder if
Mhm.
he had to convince his two other children to become killers. Like, we have to stand up for your brother. Like,
Yeah.
um,
He's just like, I'll give you a raise on your allowance.
yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, hey kids, I hope you don't have any friends at school because I'm thinking we backpack across the country and we start somewhere fresh, whole new city, and we get some revenge.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get a job as an NYPD officer. They're just handing out badges now. That's the
Yeah.
thing that's like hilarious is that why in Scream 5 like Dewey couldn't handle like moving to New York City and just like being Gail's husband and like nothing else. It's just like just get a job as an NYPD officer. It's so easy to get a job there. You don't even have to be real police to get a job there. Like just
Yeah.
get a badge. Yeah.
They won't even do a background check, honestly.
No, no. And I mean
Yeah.
like obviously Dewey is qualified, but seriously, none of that is believable. None everything with Bailey and Dewey and all that.
Oh, you mean
I'm
Dewey
over it.
leaving Gale in the middle of the night?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like the worst gut wrench to hear that.
Yeah. And just like not realistic. But anyway,
Exactly.
I
Digress.
digress.
Yes, digress.
I'm gonna digress all over Beverly's father. I think that he is the most deserving to die because I mean all of the parents are like it can't be anything other than the adults in this movie. And as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned, he is the worst. Like he's just creepy and gross, and everything about that relationship is it's just very unsavory. And I wish that, she had actually killed him. And he couldn't even see
Mm-hmm.
the blood. He couldn't see the
You
dirty
couldn't see
ass
the blood.
bathroom. Yeah.
You
The
couldn't
the
even see the blood.
movie didn't even, care about him enough to show us that he didn't see the blood. So, yeah, off with his
Hmm.
head.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have to say then if you're gonna choose the dad, then I have to go with the next our next favorite pervert, which is the pharmacist. Greta's dad.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but Greta's dad, the pharmacist pervert.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some weird vibes about him, and I was like wondering like is this intentional, or is he just like trying to be like a really nice like pharmacist? It was
Yeah.
ambiguous to a point, but it was just like whatever it was, I'm like that guy's not like he's shady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not a good parent anyways. If his daughter is acting like that in school, pouring trash on
Yeah.
Beverly March,
Yeah, yeah, it's just like that's
he's
your
just
parenting skill. That's
he's
that's who you have
yeah.
produced.
You're a pedo. You're obsessed with her. You're obsessed with her daughter. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. So apparently their names, thank you, Amethyst Frost, is Elvin Marsh and Dr. Norbert Keene. Interesting.
doctor. Oh, he's a
Doctor. Yeah,
doctor.
he's a doctor. Yeah, not
Oh,
just a
Dr.
pharmacist. A
Norbert.
doctor. Um, Cherry on top. I feel like we already kind of agreed on it, but
Eddie's mom. I'm just kidding.
Eddie's
Um,
mom has got it
what is
going
going
on.
on? Um,
No, it's Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it has to be Eddie. He's hilariously adorable.
Hmm.
Um, they broke his arm in this movie. We didn't touch on that, but yeah, he broke his arm. Remember that?
In real life. We're just gonna
No,
break the kid, you know, we're just gonna break her arm.
that's like the one BTS thing that I remember is that Bill Skarsgård waited to like see the kids until he like had a scene with them. I think it might have been Eddie had the first scene with him in that scene where he's like on the
Mhm.
floor with a broken arm. Um, yeah, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
And I
That's
mean,
our
like,
BTS.
yeah, but you know, still shout out to Bill Skarsgård because, you know, I think
He's
that, you know,
amazing.
absolutely, like, you know, just up with the creep factor of it all. And I really wish that there had been less CGI because I think
Yeah.
that that would have not taken so much away from his performance and like just like because there's just so much physical acting with his face alone. Like I remember seeing him doing interviews after the movie had released, and he was just sort of like doing this stuff like almost like the way that like Jim Carrey will like transform into the Grinch with
Yeah.
his face. Like he has that
Hmm.
same kind of skill to be able to do that.
Yep.
Um, so
And make
yeah,
his eyes just go different directions.
less CGI, the better. But yeah, so if you want to vote for either one of those pedos, as the kids would call them, you can head over to firstly my Patreon account, where even if you're not subscribed, again, you can follow as a free member and get an extra free vote in there. I leave that poll open to the public. You can also head over to the Instagram account at the Cherry Picker Pod. Make sure you're following us there. And on YouTube, subscribe to us. There's the poll up here every week. And if you prefer to listen to these episodes, the RSS feed link is in the descriptions down below. Tim McKay Beauty, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Tim McKay Beauty.
What do you know? And you can find me on my main YouTube channel at Zack Cherry, Zack space Cherry. I am Retro Bitch Face on Letterboxd and Instagram, and Zack Cherry 8 on Twitter. Although
Woo!
I'm avoiding Twitter right now because apparently the Scream
Scream
7
7.
spoilers were leaked. There's like a video of like the killer reveal. So I'm kind of internet free for a few days here. But speaking of which, what are we covering next week? Pray tell,
Do we know what we're covering next week?
don't we? I never know if you're serious. So before we started
Oh.
this episode, I messaged Tim to just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna Zoom you in a few minutes," and he responds back with, "It's Monday."
Oh yeah.
Like,
I was like, wait, it's Monday?
yeah,
Yeah, so true. So it
give me a
is.
little startle
But
there.
wait, did we talk about what we're doing next week?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
Scream 7.
what, 7, yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay, duh.
Duh.
Oh, duh. Okay. Yeah.
Duh.
No, we're talking about
Duh.
Scream 7 next week.
We're doing Scream
I can't
7s.
wait.
It's it who knows? It could go in so many different directions, but whatever the case may be, there's going
Nope.
to be a
It's
lot
gonna be great.
to talk about. I'm predicting a very long episode.
We're gonna have a
Um,
long episode. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, and I cannot wait.
Absolutely. So we hope that you will join us. But until then, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we will be right back.